All right, let me start with a warning. If you do not want to see the worst of the United States of America, if you don't want to hear from the people who endanger the very continuation of American democracy, then you should turn to something else right now.
Brilliant. So before the video even starts, this guy primes his viewers to make sure that no matter what, they're always scanning for how these people are awful rather than if these people are awful. It's always a great sign when people start by telling you exactly what to think.
Our correspondent Luke Beasley, who by the way is getting really good at this.
This is a nitpick, but he's doing the exact same thing with his guy. His guy is getting really good at this, guys. Make sure you're scanning for how he's really good at the same time as you scan for how these people are awful and dangerous and a threat to democracy. If this guy is so great and if these people are so dangerous, that should speak for itself. That should be evident on its own. You shouldn't have to tell people that they are in order for people to be scanning for that. It should be very evident. I don't want to distract from the topic too much before it even starts, but I want to quickly show you a few clips. Let me know what you think in the comments below about which group is more dangerous.
He wants to know if he's going to be safe inside there if he goes.
Yeah, come on in. You go with us. What? You come on. You go right here with us. You break a line.
You can come in line.
Come on, man. I love all people.
Is he going to be safe if he comes in with you guys? Because he doesn't know. He wants to know if he goes in there if he's going to be safe and welcome.
I will welcome you with open arms.
So, to be honest with you, I would like to see more people of your skin tone with us. Just in there, hope to see you. Come on, player.
Bro, it's not about Trump. It don't matter what he says, man. What matters is that we're still living together in harmony together, and that's all that matters.
He's a Trump supporter.
What up?
What's going on over here?
Do you feel welcome over here?
Not at all. Not even in the slightest.
Why?
Because nobody wants us over here.
Why do you love Trump?
Hey, that was cool.
I'm so sorry.
Why did you throw water on that guy?
Oh, I didn't do that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Have a conversation out here with you.
Stand wherever the I want. Little not bitch. And InfoWars.
Yeah, go hear what you're saying. You can't. That's who I'm talking to.
Do you mind? Can I grab your?
Now, while these people are clearly biased and you can't really guarantee somebody's safety going into a highly politically charged area, I do think that the approach that each group took speak for themselves. Although you can make your own decisions, let me know in the comments below what you think. And I'll link the whole 45-minute documentary down below so you can check it out for yourself and come to your own conclusions. Now, tangent over, let's get back to the video.
This may be some of Luke's best stuff. It gets dangerous during these interviews. He spoke to Trump supporters.
This is genuinely where his sentence ends. It gets dangerous. We spoke to Trump supporters.
It's all about love, man. I love all my people. I love all my people.
Why is it now dangerous to speak to people? It should not be dangerous to speak to somebody who thinks differently to you. And you shouldn't be making things out to be dangerous when they are not. Now, I don't want to influence anyone's opinions or anything, but I'm sharing my own. This is how you get people like the protesters in the video before. When you're told that your opposition is dangerous, violent, and is going to harm you, you're immediately on the defense. You're immediately not in a state of neutrality, which is a state that we all need to be in when it comes to speaking to one another. We need to assume the best in people, or at least assume neutrality in people, because most people aren't super radical until they get radicalized. The thing that radicalizes people is telling them that their opposition is going to harm them. It leads to more polarized views on things that people would otherwise be far more neutral on, and prevents people from actually being able to see what other people are saying without first viewing them through the lens of their political affiliation.
Really prepare yourself to be terrified about what may be in America's future.
All right, dude, we get it. You want to fearmonger. Let's get on with the video.
Would you rather 4 years of dictator Trump or 4 years of democratically elected Joe Biden?
I'm sure we can all see that this question was asked in extremely poor faith, which is another thing that leads to polarization. Some people would answer this question completely differently if you just asked them normally. However, by adopting a very strong stance, one way or another, you end up pushing people who are already sort of opposed to you further to the other side, further than they would have been if you had just asked neutrally. The more neutral you are, the more neutrality you attract. The more radical you are, the more radicality you provoke.
4 years of dictator Trump or 4 years of democratically elected Joe Biden? Dictator Trump!
There it is. Dictator Trump. These people are dangerous.
You didn't even give her a chance to explain herself before immediately going and telling your audience exactly what to think. This is dangerous. See, she wants a dictator, knowing full well that this will sate your audience's desire for more political biases, and that now that they've got that moment, they're not going to listen to anything she says past that. Trumpists want dictators, you heard it here first, folks. And not even to mention, this was in response to a question that was asked in remarkably bad faith. I'm sure you would answer similarly if you were asked something similar by an adversary. Like, imagine if your high school bully asked you, who do you think's better, my beautiful, smart, amazing girlfriend or your ugly, dumb, stupid wife? Obviously, you're gonna say my ugly, dumb, stupid wife. You're gonna use his words, but clearly that's not what you really think. If you were to play along, that's how you would answer. That's how anyone would answer. The question was just asked in such poor faith, and there was no way that she'd be able to answer in a way that wouldn't be a gotcha moment for her. The only way to win in situations like this is to simply refuse the question.
I refuse the question. You can't refuse the question. I do, but you can't. But I did. But you need to pick one. No, I don't.
These people are dangerous. They need to be treated as such.
And what does he mean by this? No, seriously, what does he mean? How do you treat a dangerous individual? You treat them with scrutiny?
Because you never understand. Walk away, kid. You never understand.
You treat them with violence? You treat them with resistance?
That, I'm sorry, I know you're talking side of the street.
You treat them with contempt?
You guys create delusions in your mind, and then because you guys are all ignorant, you guys just eat them up like little mice in cages.
You treat them with hatred.
Oh, fucking Nazi bitch.
Is that, am I wrong? If somebody is a dangerous individual, you need to protect yourself against them at all costs. You need to keep them away from your families, keep them away from your children, keep them away from your peers, keep them away from people you care about. However, these people are not dangerous. They simply have a different opinion. And you're saying this all before she has the chance to explain herself, which she will do in the next few seconds. However, his audience clearly does not care about that, as you can tell by the comments.
And that's a lie. You're a liar. It's the first day he said, I'll be a dictator for one day to put in the border. And one other thing, you're a liar.
Drill, baby, drill.
I want to go back to this one issue, though, because the media has been focused on this and attacking you. Under no circumstances. You are promising America tonight you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
what?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border, and I want to drill.
That's
drill,
not a, that's,
drill.
That's
I love this guy. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one.
So hopefully that video serves to provide some context as to why he asked that question the way he did, and why she answered the way she did. I'm not sure that all of their followers were aware of this clip, so hearing this woman's response out of context would understandably be really jarring for them. This then contributes to the rising fear and anxiety and tension between the two parties.
You're part of the media, a baby media turkey. In training. Good job. Apply to CNN, MSNBC. You're great.
There was a time where we would have gone to such a rally and found policy disagreements, but we wouldn't have found people who would say, I'd rather a dictator over a Democrat.
Do I even have to say it? Do I really need to explain again why she answered the way she did? You're not going to get insane weirdo answers from people, typically, if you don't ask insane weirdo questions. Be normal for a change. Be normal next time. I don't know what she meant by a baby media turkey, but she was probably right. He's a baby media turkey.
Oh, yes. This will be fun. All right, ready.
Hi there.
Hello. What's one bad thing about Biden? Do you know?
The question is, what's a bad thing about Biden? Now we're going to get into policy.
That's not what that means, especially when you start the conversation like that. That's not what that means. He's once again setting her up to get his audience to laugh at her for not answering about policy, when that's not even what the question was.
He's a crook. He is.
Like the guy who's been indicted 4 times?
Come on, not convicted. Okay, he's a crook. He stole money from countries.
He stole it.
He's left and right and made business deals to get. Okay, he said.
Donald Trump received millions from foreign governments while he was president.
He doesn't
through
take
his
money.
businesses.
He doesn't take a salary.
That's not true.
When you ask the question, what's a bad thing about Biden? You're asking about the individual. If you said the Biden administration, sure, then you'd probably be getting into policy. But the question was, as you felt the need to repeat, what's a bad thing about Biden? Ask people the same thing about Trump and you'll get responses about his personality rather than about his policy. That's just the way the question is phrased. Here, I'll even include a clip from a few years ago from Cut. It asks people around the world what they think about Trump. Listen closely for any policy.
What are my thoughts on Donald Trump? I think he's a bigot, a narcissist, very ignorant,
irresponsible,
violent, sexist,
dumbass.
I don't know, look, he's a bit of a hey?
You can watch the whole video down below if you don't believe me. When I watched it, I was expecting to hear something other than cheap digs at his personality, but I suppose it's in the nature of the question, and I can't get too mad at that. Now back to this lady talking about Biden.
He's a LGBTQ.
Alright. I don't even have anything to say about this. I just think that we all need to just sit there and enjoy that beautiful statement by her.
Do you believe in the transgender library story hours for children?
I think they're called drag queen story hours.
Right.
Which is different than transgender.
And they dress up demonically.
So would you say you're motivated to protect the kids?
Absolutely.
And so are you concerned with the leading cause of death for children being firearms, and Trump doesn't want to do anything about that?
Your leading cause of death for children is abortion. Do your homework.
If we only talk about people who have been born, the leading cause of death for children is firearms. And this guy just spoke yesterday at the NRA convention. We could do common sense gun reforms that could protect lives, save those beautiful children you're talking about. But instead, we're all focused on being distracted by drag queen story hour? Really?
So I actually thought that this section right here was really good. He was explaining his side coherently, and he gave her the chance to speak her mind. This is exactly how you get to real discussions and end up sparking change in people. So you can imagine my surprise when I heard David Pakman's response to all this. Although in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have been so shocked.
We need to do away with the false notion that if we just sit these folks down, we can talk them out of their delusions.
Like, what? And then he proceeds to tell his followers to just vote en masse, because you can't convince them all, so you need to make them insignificant by voting en masse.
We need to win by going around these people and making them politically irrelevant. Might not be nice, oh, but they deserve it. They get to vote. I'm not saying you don't let them vote. I'm saying we make their vote irrelevant by turning out in such large numbers.
I think it's also worth noting that we don't get to see the response of the lady before switching to another video. I could be wrong, but I'd wager it might be because it goes directly against his claim of it being a false notion that people cannot be convinced by conversation. So after a video full of absolutely no policy discussion, as he himself alluded to, he then encourages his audience to go and vote, without even knowing what they're voting for. Now this isn't to say that none of them know what they're voting for, but the timing of his advice to vote was quite strange and implies he doesn't care if they don't know what they're voting for. Just as long as they vote, and as long as that vote is blue. This is how you end up with lunatics in office. This is how you end up with evil people in office. People whose policies don't seem to reflect the wants of even a little bit of the population, never mind the 51%. This is how you end up with tragedies that could have been prevented with a little more education. Not everyone should vote. If you have no clue what you're voting for, you should not vote. However, I do think that everyone should make an informed vote. I don't think that anyone should blindly vote. People went through so much to get people the rights to vote. Women, black people, people of color, as they say. These people especially should take the time to look into the policies and the beliefs of the people that they want to elect before voting. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine. You're not a bad person for not being involved in politics. You don't have to vote. I do still maintain that it would be in your best interest to vote, once again after educating yourself, but you don't have to. Voting shouldn't be something you do just because your favorite pop singer told you to do it. It should be something you do because you took the time to make an informed decision after weighing the options. Although, at the end of the day, it's your decision. It's your decision why you want to vote, if you're going to vote, when you're going to vote, and who you're going to vote for. That being said, that's about all I have to say. That's about all of David Pakman I can handle today. Leave me some comments down below with your thoughts. I will be reading all of them, every single one. Subscribe if you haven't and you want to. Please don't subscribe if you have already, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.